Primetime Studio welcomes you to the rapid fire round. This is Sudha. We have KG with us. Welcome, KG. So, without any further delay, let's start with the questions. So, KG, considering the fact that Primetime at 9 has been initiated during the lockdown period and it's reaching the 100th episode in a few days. So, how has Primetime at 9 evolved with that?
Yeah. So as I've always maintained that the producer of this show is CP Gurnani. Okay, and he came up with this idea at the start of the lockdown, saying that we must do something to keep the troops engaged. And while I was not very sure whether we should do this daily, he actually was very keen that this must be a daily show. So it seemed very relentless in the beginning, but I guess as a team, we all pulled in together, and it became fun. We ran 66 sessions on a trot, including Saturdays and Sundays, and the show took a life of its own, isn't it? I mean, a lot of the youngsters of the Prime team who were fresh aimers evolved with this program. Some of you became anchors, Amrita, or for that matter, Privil. And many of you learned to work in high pressure situations, juggling, dates, using technology to make things happen, videos, the games that we did. And even as we speak, we are evolving even in Primetime Season 2. This video itself that we are trying to do is an evolution of trying to do recording and using the recording to edit. So I would kind of end there. Your next question.
Right, KG. So we, the Primetime team, have learned a lot, and organizing all these sessions has groomed us in various aspects, and Primetime's show has been a launchpad for all of us. So moving on to the next question. Can you tell us a bit about the sales enablement training module?
My primary mandate now in this new avatar is sales enablement. And as part of this, both Jagdish and Manish have come up with the top 30 accounts in their respective areas of communications as well as enterprise. And so which means 60 accounts, and in each of these accounts, if there are 2 or 3, on average, let's say 3 client-facing people, then we are looking at 180 people to be trained, and that's my first target. And since work from home and virtual is a new norm, we have to do all of this virtually, and it's a very difficult job. And so, we've put this together, the team with me, which is Rachana and Shushti and Deepkaran and Guneet, Emi, Joji, all of these people we have got together. We have created a very, very compelling virtual training program. Is it perfect? I don't think so. But are we willing to learn and adapt? We are. And we have run the first pilot for the Europe team of around 28 people. And it, I think, went fairly well. A lot of things to change and learn and redo. But I think we are on the right track.
Okay, so next question. With the increased focus on digital learning these days, how is the traction to this particular training module?
Any training is a function of 4 things, right? So there is a sales training, there is a competency training, which means your digital, what you're talking about, IoT, blockchain, automation, machine language, analytics. All of this also need to be, inputs have to be provided in these areas. And then there is behavioral, right? I mean, there is, you need to teach them to do objection handling, need to teach them to work in teams, collaboration, avoid procrastination, so many things. And finally is your process. So within any company, there are these unique processes. So Tech Mahindra has its unique processes around CRM, around demand farm, around the various portals. All of this constitutes a complete training package. And obviously, attention spans are low. In a virtual world, you cannot do a 2-hour lecture or even an 8-hour program. It has to be short. So given all of this, we are trying to use a variety of methods to keep engaged, to do gamification, to have competition, to create leaderboards. So as we said, going on, good initial results. Are we perfect? No. Are we learning? Yes.
KG, how would the program be if it wasn't taken up by you?
I think we are giving too much of weightage to KG. I think the team does an excellent job. In the past, I think the only KG brings in is his, the luck and the good wishes, right? So in my first avatar, when I did Seal and Aim, I had Bhaskar Rajgopal, who absolutely was super brilliant, super brilliant. I mean, he was an entrepreneur who had, left his entrepreneurship to come back to the corporate world. So he understood business, he understood selling, and phenomenal. And he was a phenomenal program manager. In the new avatar in Salesy, I have Rachana Nadar. Rachana Nadar is this person who does 5 things beyond what is expected of her. So, I think I'm blessed to have good people in the team, not to take away the credit from Deep Karan, from Shrishti, from Guneet, from Emmy, from Joji. They have their own ways, right? But somebody has to always take the lead, and, and to that extent, I'm blessed.
With AIM and the SEAL training program, we've seen a mix of both the virtual and the face-to-face training modules. So how are you making this training module different and interesting?
I think the whole thing in Salesy is virtual. There is no so-called face-to-face in person. So virtual is about virtual face-to-face through Teams, through WebEx kind of medium, and there is offline learning. So we are now actively using the various learning platforms that we have, like Udemy, Coursera, our own internal platforms, and we assign a lot of pre-work, pre-certifications. So that happens, and hopefully when they finish that, they come into the virtual class in a fairly ready state of mind. And there we use a lot of short, by short I mean not more than an hour at the max. I mean, we prefer 45 minutes, but sometimes sessions do take time, hour at the max. And the module and the methodology that we want to adopt is come into class and ask questions based on your pre-learning. We will clarify, and then we'll do top up. That's the methodology we prefer. We do a lot of quizzes and games using freely available tools like Menti or Kahoot or Slido and so on, and that keeps some engagement going. And we also get participants to work beyond the class of virtual to do some preparation together, teamwork together, so that they can come and pitch. And that also helps them to try out the concepts that they have learned either in pre-work or in class or in both the kind of formats.
That sounds interesting. KJ, with your online presence, professional presence on social media platforms, with your sales and the management videos, how did that help you in adapting to the virtual business platform and the virtual business ecosystem right now?
Nothing significant. I mean, I am even more convinced that virtual is the way to go, and that online is the way to go, right? So, in fact, I'm now considering ways and means to, kind of structure the various videos and content that I have to be able to put that together as a cogent training that I can offer to a target audience. I think my target audience post my retirement would be MBA students, or the young generation who are trying to make a career, trying to make an impact, and how I can impact them to become successful. So that is something on a personal front I would do. But in the firm, I want to use the technologies, the various technologies that are there. I'm continuously learning on the various platforms that can be used to make this virtual training experience very real and impactful. Having said this, one of my biggest mantras in virtual training, in fact, with the advent of MOOCs earlier and now with work from home, is that the onus of learning has shifted inexorably to the learner. I'll repeat that. The onus of learning has shifted inexorably to the learner in the virtual world.
Congratulations on the new launch of your bi-weekly newsletter, the Corporate Karma Guide. And your very well known on the social media platforms with your hashtag BuddyHaveItKG. Now, what are the three key messages that you want to deliver with this?
Three key messages are I always say, be grateful with what you have, make a list of all the great things that you have and which you didn't know were great. Only when you make the list, you will know that. And as you make that list and look at it, I think when gratitude wells up in you, you will automatically know how to be happy, grateful. Be generous. Be generous with your time. Be generous with your knowledge. Be generous with your connections. Help people, right? And what's the third message? Gratitude, generosity, optimism, right? And I think gratitude also brings happiness and optimism. I think optimism is at a premium today. Let me tell you, even as I say this, there are days when I'm not optimistic. Oh my God, what has happened? But I think you have to pull yourself back using gratitude to be able to become optimistic and to spread that optimism to people. I think those are my three messages.
Youngsters these days are facing a lot of challenges improving themselves in the pandemic affected business world. Now, what are the three suggestions you want to give to these youngsters?
Besides being grateful, optimistic, and generous, I think you need to demonstrate ownership, demonstrate collaboration, demonstrate passion and can do, right? And if you're able to demonstrate these few values and traits, then you will be picked over the others. Believe you and me, a time is now coming when costs will be severely looked at. And by costs, I mean HR costs also, right? And in a large IT firm, HR costs contribute between 60 and 70% of the revenues of the firm. And if the revenues of the firm are going to decline, then the costs have to be proportionately reduced, which also means that people will have to be let go. And if that is a reality, then how do you stand out as an individual to be able to be counted, to be able to be picked over and above those people who have to be let go? And if you demonstrate these qualities, there is a very good chance that the leaders may pick you and want to keep you in their team rather than let you go.
Thank you so much for joining us for this Rapid Fire KG. So we appreciate your patience and interest in this. We wish you all the very best for your future endeavors, including your new avatar for sales enablement. Thank you.